Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. Charles Owino, let's come back to you. And you'd spoken about honesty, and there was an issue about police using excessive force. Do you agree that the police used excessive force?
Before I go to that, I would want to just try and moderate what I've heard from here. And I talked about honesty. I've had my neighbor, Honorable Mudenyo, state that the sitting government made promises, which is true. They made promises. When you are campaigning, you make promises with anticipations. But the question would be, for how long have we had this current government? Remember, this current government was, when they came into power in August last year, they were working with the previous budget, which had been put in by the previous government. They didn't have their own budget. Correct. And immediately they came in, you know, the opposition has been escalating their reasons for demonstration. They started with opening of the server, then high cost of living, then there was a proposal for higher taxes, went on that. And I'm very happy with something she said, that last year, or the other years, there was a handshake. And remember, before the handshake, the leader of opposition was very critical on issues of borrowing. He was always complaining about borrowing. And then they came, borrowing and Eurobond, he was very, very critical about it. Then they came together with his brother. Then they managed to do away with the debt ceiling. Then we borrowed. And I've said, patriotism, it's our country. All these bad things happened. And when the handshake came, the issue of criticizing Eurobond ended. The issue of borrowing ended. And we have seen ourselves move where we are. And we must remember, this is our country. I wanted to challenge Honorable Mudenyo that he made promises to Funyula people. And fortunately, this government, for the first time, released fully CDF money. Correct. And released fully money to the county government.
Correct. That's not true. That's not true.
That's true. All right.
You know, there was a
you
large
will answer
chunk
me.
That came very late.
Okay. No, you will answer. You'll answer me.
It's true.
What is most important is understanding how to manage finances, because what you require to do is to commit money. Once you commit money, that money cannot go back. And Mudenyo, I'm sure he has committed money. I've seen a bit of work in Funyula since you received money, because you are my neighbor. I go to Port Victoria every day to buy fish. And therefore, the sitting government also required to be given ample time. You know, you cannot get into office and then the following day, people start bashing you. It's not reasonable. That is where we are talking about honesty, being honest with ourselves. How long have we given this government time to manage its affairs to an extent that we can now blame them? And I can tell you for sure, he talked about that every time there are demonstrations, then it is the police that incite people into the kind of wars we see around. Honorable Mudenyo, between Bumala and Sega is just less than 2 kilometers. And there were supposed to be demonstrations yesterday, but the day before yesterday at midnight, and he knows, Bumala, Sega, boys had put on roadblocks, we had roadblocks, we had big rocks on the road. Not only that, even if you go to Migori Road, you go to Kisii, we saw all that, even in Nairobi. And they were doing it before even the day for demonstrations started. People were getting taxed to leave. So, you know, it's important to be honest before we start blaming the police. The police have a responsibility to protect lives and properties. And what you can talk about is maybe unjustified excess force in an action. But before we go to the unjustified excess force that an individual police officer has used, because every person is meted to his own judgment. And I've said here, police officers always take individual responsibility. And when you are faced with a situation as a policeman, you have no time to refer to your books. You have no time to refer to your boss to ask him. You go for what you've been trained, what you understand. And I would want, she's a lawyer, to get even through her phone the justifiable circumstances when a police officer may use his bullet. Don't lie to the public that the policeman may not use that firearm. The policeman, we have seen serious restraint on policemen in this demonstration. I've seen policemen fully armed running away from the public and getting into their trucks and moving, because they are faced with a situation where if they don't do that, they would otherwise kill them. So we must also thank the police for the good actions. You know, we cannot always condemn the police, and it is good. It's just like it's good to tell a young girl that if you play around with these old men, you will get sick or you will get pregnant. It's good to tell the truth. So if we don't tell the public that, yes, the police may use excessive force, which is wrong, and they will take individual responsibilities. And in this country, we have taken policemen to court. Some have even been sentenced to death. Some have even been sentenced to life imprisonment. And many have lost their jobs for use of excessive force. Yeah. And we agree on that. But as a country, we must also be honest to ourselves and be able to tell the public that there are circumstances when policemen will be justified to use their arms. Like, for example, if today you go threatening security at the airport, who is going to leave you? And what I know is that honesty will help us. When we talk about this government high cost of living, we must look at the genesis. Where have we come from? And you cannot work without money. The government cannot run without money. So it is important that we just become sober, both sides, and be honest. Yeah. Because you have just said, when it comes to Article 37 that gives us the mandate to demonstrate, to picket, to assemble, it says it must be peaceful and unarmed. Yeah. And Mudenyo knows here. And none of them, as much as they are saying the police should come out to condemn the killings, none of these opposition leaders have come out to tell people, please don't block the roads. And I can tell you, if Baba tells his supporters, because you see, Baba is not ordinary, and that is the truth, that this gentleman has done a lot, but you cannot make a very nice bed, alafu unakuja unakojolea. He's done a good job in the past. But he must be able to control his people. If he does not control his people, because he's the one who has asked them to come out. The day they have not been asked to come out, they'll not come out. But he's the one asking them to come out. So he must take responsibility of the people he's asking to come out and demonstrate. And when he's asking them to come out and demonstrate, he must equally tell them, please, don't block the roads. Let the roads be passable. Yeah. We have the Public Order Act, which operationalizes the Article 37 of the Constitution, to ensure that there is order, to ensure that you can notify the police. After notifying the police you will be able to tell police, we'll assemble in this place, we will walk to Kamkunji. The police will be able to give you security, will be able to give you all sorts of support. Agitate, it's allowed. Agitate, demonstrate. You even saw what happened with Malema in South Africa the other day. But they are not they are not demonstrating in all the roads. Okay. We have, Mudenyo may be wanting to bring his mother from Funyula in an ambulance or his uncle to hospital, and you find the road is closed. You will be prejudicing the rights of others. Okay. And the Constitution is clear under the Bills of Rights, the Bills of Rights, and there are limitations to Bills of Rights. Yeah. And that is under Article 24D, which says that as you enjoy your rights and fundamental freedoms, you don't prejudice the rights and freedoms of others. So let us be sober. Let us, where the government is wrong, we will agree this is not right. Where the government is right, we must agree. But you see, you cannot cause inconvenience and cause terror. I agree with him. If you read the definition of the word terrorism, you know, in 2007, our big brother was lucky. He never went to Hague. It is William and Uhuru who went to Hague, and they know what it is. And me, I can tell you, my sister, you may not be happy with what he has said, but I'm telling you, at the direction we are going, if you are calling citizens to go out and demonstrate, you must be able to control those citizens you are asking to go out and demonstrate, because they're not living on their own volition. It is you asking them to go out. And you must equally be seen to be telling them the truth. Don't block the roads.
Yeah.
Don't destroy property.
Yeah.
He must come out. And I can tell you, if Raila Odinga comes out tomorrow is, we are going to have another demonstration.
Yes.
If he comes out, if he comes out, if he comes out clearly and tells his people, I don't want to see anybody blocking the road, I don't want to see stones, then the police will be left in a situation where they will not be able to defend themselves if they do the wrong thing.
All right.
But I can tell you, if we don't do that and we continue in the same way,
yeah,
and the country breaks into anarchy and violence, he will not escape the Hague.
All right. Mudenyo, we've seen this happen before. I mean, your coalition has called for people to demonstrate.